phone died, so editing issues. Not going to be a perfect edit today. So I wanted to do a few things before we go into the questions on the first hashtag. The first hashtag I'm going to do is the Tarot Tube 2026. Amethyst Ascension did that. And then the Tarot Paternity one that Aries Witchcraft did. I'm just going to put them both on one video. Anyway, I did the questions just off the cuff, but I did want to take a minute to kind of reflect on the tarot community. I didn't really necessarily, when I started this channel, consider myself to be a part of the tarot community, just a blind pagan witch that read tarot. And looking back and reflecting, I realized that when I started my channel, back years ago, one of the first videos that I did was actually a tarot hashtag that a lady that I had been following, who's no longer on YouTube, Murphy Great Hunter, had done. So, didn't really consider that or reflect much on that. So I guess technically I started in the tarot community. So, but thinking a lot of the things about that I had watched when I saw Erie's video and what Erie had said, and some of those things being about how last year we were all doing community prompts and doing things even though it was for community growth, it was for us to grow individually and to see all the different aspects and how different people read and what different people think about different decks and things like that. So that was just something that I felt that I wanted to sort of reflect on, especially since as a visually impaired person who reads tarot, who's currently struggling with memory issues, I consider myself somewhat mediocre when it comes to reading. I have been lax on doing readings every week, just like with health stuff and everything going on. I've been lax on a lot of things. Someone said I may be neurodivergent. Possibility. Especially now with a lot of the things that we're dealing with currently. As I said in another video, talking about suppression of our content because we are of not the white Christian nationalist variety. And anything that's not, that is pagan or not Christian or spiritual, is that type of content seems to be getting suppressed, especially when there's a lot of people that are either bored or frustrated or overwhelmed with life that are leaving YouTube or just not making content because they're trying to survive or they've got other things going on. Life has to come before social media. So that's kind of my little reflection, considering the fact that my phone died. But hey, I'm not gonna go back and redo a whole video. I'm just not. I'm not gonna push myself. You're gonna hear dogs barking, you're gonna hear kids yelling, you're gonna hear kids talking. It's just real life. And to me, I mean, I want to be professional. I want to do things professional manner, but hey, real life happens. So let's just jump to the prompt portion of the video, shall we? Okay, sorry, I know it's rude to chew gum, but my ears really hurt. So, sorry. I'm trying to relieve the pressure in my ear. Anyway, I don't have the other book in front of me. But so I have Appalachian Folklore, Omens, Signs, and Superstitions. Because I don't really have any books on Appalachian folklore magic. And this was the cheapest one I could find at the moment. Need to start reading books on this for some obvious reasons. And I hope to get my book on paganism and depression next month, because I need that book. In Paganism and the Law, put it up here so you can see who the author is. This would also be something good for an atheist, or Christian witch, Jewish practitioner, whatever. In the times that we're in, this is a really important book. And I kind of flipped through it, but I actually started on this book, and then I have that Utterly Wicked book that I got for Christmas. I said at the beginning of the year that it was going to be my thing, my goal, to read one book a week and do a review on it. Here it is, March. I haven't started that. Never make New Year's resolutions, people. Well, actually, I always, one resolution I have is to never make New Year's resolutions. So, as I cleaned up my messy desk from my hashtag earlier. Anyway, Amethyst Ascension did a hashtag a while back, and I've been meaning to do it. I hadn't gotten around to it. And then Aries Witchcraft did, I'm sorry, it's just my ears really hurt, and I need to get stuff done. So, this is just the real me, sorry. That's, ew. Anyway, and Aries Witchcraft did a hashtag called Tarot Fraternity. So, rather than make a bunch of videos, I'm gonna combine the two. So I'm going to start with Amethyst hashtag first, and then we're going to move on to Aries. And then I've got some VRs and other stuff I want to try to do. So, anyway, here we go. So, this is Amethyst Ascension's hashtag. I think it's Tarot Doom 2026. I'll have to go back and look. I'll get her video. She had 2 videos on it, I think. So I'll get those. And then Erie's video. If it's not in the description, it'll be on my community tab. So, got some other VRs that I want to do and other things I want to do. So, I figured out, put it up here on my big ass screen, and then I don't have to keep using paper all the time, except for like when I write out scripts. Didn't write a script out for this, so this is gonna be interesting. So question number 1 is guiding value. What value should guide my participation in the tarot community going forward? Learning how I can improve my reading, understanding that everyone reads tarot cards differently, and I'm no exception, and I have to, what's the word I want to use? I kind of have to filter, move things around to make it work for me, because I'm partially blind. And some of the decks, it's like the art is cool, but people with the fonts, it's really difficult because they can't, get it close enough. So I struggle with a lot of these fonts. So, but again, everyone reads differently. I'm more of an intuitive reader, and I write it down, what is coming to me, so that I don't miss anything, I don't forget anything. That's just how I do it. Now, doing it live is a whole different ballgame, but as I'm getting the decks, and I used to, when I started, I thought, how can somebody do it that way? But now I understand it because I've learned that different decks, different messages. So implementing different decks, you're going to be getting different messages. You got your dark decks, your light, fluffy, cute decks, and you can have a client and use 3 different decks and get 3 different messages. So that's from my years of study and learning. That's just me. Number 2, my contribution. What energy or perspective do I bring into the space? I have no clue. I have no clue, because it seems like when I do reviews and things, people don't really watch. Maybe it's the way I do the review. I am visually impaired, so making things aesthetically pleasing to sighted people is a bit of a problem. I can just do it according to my visual acuity, which is kind of why I try to do more audio-based things for partially blind people and people that can just listen to it. And of course, you got to put pictures in to appease the more visual people, because everybody learns different. So, but maybe tarot from a visually impaired person's perspective. But at the same time, if you are of the non-Christian community, the witchy, the pagan, spiritual community, our stuff is getting suppressed anyway under what we're dealing with now. And that's just not on YouTube, it's on all the platforms. So I don't know. I really don't know. Number 4, mutual engagement. How can I engage with community in a way that feels with a community that feels that feels reciprocal and supportive? I try to participate in as many hashtags as I can, but I don't have as many decks as a lot of people. I really don't. And if I'm going to be showing like the same 2-3 decks in 20 different videos, then I don't. I try not to be repetitive. Maybe coming up with different tarot spreads. I've done that. Or finding tarot spreads that everybody could do. I've done that. I do have that triple goddess tarot spread that I haven't sat down and done yet, because that'll be a lot. But it is posted on my community tab. I've done those. I'm more into the Witchy community than the tarot community, although everybody just seems to be in that same community. We were all kind of always trying to think of new ideas to get people excited and get people motivated again, especially this time of year when we're coming into the spring and everybody is just going through it lately. I don't know, maybe have a bunch of people come up with a spread and everybody ask one question for tarot. Maybe doing tarot from everyone's perspective, or talking about how the way that they read tarot is the way that they read tarot, because everybody reads different and is on different frequencies, and maybe that would be something to think about. The path forward. What kind of tarot community am I helping to create in 2026? Something that's really community based, because we need community now more so than ever. Something where we are finding different ways to teach each other different things and figuring out what resonates and what doesn't. Maybe implementing things where we're using tarot in our spell work, for those of us that do that type of thing. That's the only thing that I can really come up with. It may sound lame, but like I said, I didn't really think about the questions before I jumped on here and wrote a script for it. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on the Tarot Tib 2026 hashtag. Okay, so on to the paternity tarot part of the video. So, and I'm going to do maybe 3 or 4 of these, but I'm going to have to stop every so often because I got to organize the cards. Sorry about the glare, but anyway, you guys have seen me with this deck before. You guys know that I love this deck. It's just a Flight Night 1980s vibe kind of a thing. Let me back that up a little bit. Okay, I'm holding the camera thing between my knees. So, but anyway, it's not used it in a minute. So, I'm gonna do the Aliens Among Us tag that we were gonna do a long time ago and never got around to. Anyway, so there's the Wizard's Tarot as the child. Okay. So obviously, and I'm going to only pick out certain ones. You can go and find a walkthrough, or I'll find a walkthrough of the Wizard's Tarot. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to find some that, if you know about the Sensual Wicca Tarot, I'm trying to be really careful because there's, I really hardly ever use this deck because of the adult pictures involved in here. So, here are some of the pictures that I can show from the Sensual Tarot as the mother. Okay? So, here's the mom. And if you did a walkthrough of Wizard's Tarot, you're going to kind of understand. But I will find walkthroughs and post them in the description so that, you get a better idea of where I'm going. And now we all have, or a lot of us have, the Deviant Moon, right? So, if you know anything about the Wizard's Tarot, as the, haven't used this deck in a minute, as the child, right, you can see kind of some of the images. This one, woo, I can kind of show. So, is Deviant Moon the father? Or, let me get all the cards here. Don't go at me for this one because I wanted this deck and I tried to find it, and the only place I so is that the dad? Or, and now granted, I have never honestly used this deck yet. Is the Alien Tarot the dad? So you can tell me in the comments section for number 1. So, I love this deck though. Who's the dad? Is it the Alien Tarot or the Deviant Moon? And I will put links to the walkthroughs in the description for for the Wizard's Tarot and the Sensual Tarot, because I'm iffy. I'm iffy. Sensual, I got that deck. Didn't look at the walkthrough on it. There was another deck and it wasn't in my budget when I went to the witchy shop, so I grabbed this one. Didn't do a walkthrough. That's the Wiccan Smex deck, okay? Yeah. So, that's just what it is. It is what it is. So, now here's the second one. So, move this. We have Wisdom of the Hidden Realm Oracle as the mom. With this, get the guidebook out. I've kind of really, oh, my knees aren't doing very good today. Sorry about that, guys. So, oh, it's raining, I think. Wow. So, there's a couple with the Wizard's Tarot. Okay, so this is obviously the mom. Okay. Now, what about the kid? Well, the child is the Steampunk Tarot Wisdom of the Machine. Okay, so here's the kid. So let me open the box. I can't open the box with one hand. And I'll just grab a couple of these. Okay. So this is the kid. Right? You saw the mom. Okay. Let me back it up a little bit. Okay. I love this deck. I think a couple other people. It is very, very, very good price right now. If you want this deck, you can get this deck brand new, and it's at a really low price. So if you want it, you might want to run and get it now. Just saying, Miss Kulala, it's down to like $5, ma'am. Or because she was really wanting this deck, or if anybody wants to bless her with this deck. So anyway, that's the kid. So then, who's the dad? Is it the Universal Fantasy Tarot? So I think this is a Los Scarabeo deck. So, is Universal Fantasy the dad? Or is it, now where did I set it? Where did I set it now? Oh crap. What did I just had it in my hand. Where did it go? I found it. So, was that the dad, or is it the Victorian steampunk tarot? Maybe he's an uncle. This might be like a genealogy thing with this one. I don't know. You tell me. So, who's the father on that one? And then we are going to do a couple more here in a second. Okay, so we have the Wheel of the Year Tarot as the mom, right? That one I'm not going to put up because, well, you know, YouTube would get me for that particular card. So, got all my cards stacked up. So, this would be the Wheel of the Year Tarot as the mom. Right? So, who would be the dad? Would the dad be... Well, first let's do the kid. Let's do the kid first. The child would be the Witch's Garden Tarot, which I just used. Right? Just use this. The Witch's Garden Tarot. Is the child. So, who's the dad? Is the dad the Tarot of Elves? And I'm going to get that here in a second, but I've got this all stacked up. Is the dad the Tarot of Elves? Not used this one in a long time either. So is that the dad? Or is it the Spellcaster's Tarot? Get this out. Let me pull that back. Or is the dad the Wizard's Tarot? I think I have, yeah. The Wizard's Tarot. Let me get that one. Uh-oh. Here it is. Or is it the Wizard's Tarot? I can't do this one-handed, so I'm only grabbing a couple of these cards because it's a pain in the butt. Try to get the full picture here. So, that's the back. So, yeah. So I keep. So, who's the dad? I think I'm just gonna do some genealogy ones. The Wizard's Tarot being the half brother, right? You guys saw that deck, right? So here, so we're gonna do that genealogy, right? So the Wizard's Tarot is the half brother. That one I first showed you as a possible half brother, because this guy can be the dad too. So, as a potential father, we have the Beetlejuice Tarot. And here we go. I'll just pull it back. Oops. I just got this deck, and this is like the first time that I'm going for a whole nostalgia thing for, that's how I do inner child work. So, is this a potential father? Right? 2, the Garbage Pail Kids Tarot. Yeah, my hands are really dry. Or, you know, is this a half sibling or whatever, you know. So this is Garbage Pail Kids. Of course, it's upside down. I haven't used this deck in a minute. So, granted, these don't look anything like the Garbage Pail Kids that we had as kids, but hey. So, that's the child. And the Ghostbusters Tarot as the mother. Jenny would be so proud. I got a bunch of decks up here on my desk, so because I didn't have room. So, here's the mom. This is the Ghostbusters Tarot. This would also go good with Ghost Tarot. So that's the mom. So that's just like a genealogy one, possible genealogy one. Put all this back together because I have to reorganize my stuff now. Okay, so this is just a genealogy one. So you guys have seen the Horror Tarot, right? This is like my last one, just because I can't get any more decks out. The Horror Tarot. Okay. Okay. So that's obviously the mom. then the possible dads would be, I'm not going to pull this one out. I might, yeah. Wisdom of the House of Night. Is a possible dad. Just gonna pull a couple. I can't. There we go. So Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle, possible dad. Even though it's kind of more. Okay. Show you guys one more. Okay. So is that the dad? Two, and we're going to do the kid now. Which would be, actually they have two kids. They have two. The first child is the Horror Oracle. You guys have seen this one. I've done a lot of videos with it, but yeah, you're having to look at that. Sorry. When I moved, stuff got spilt on that. So, there's this picture. I'm going to get the book out of the way, and because I've got too many piled on my desk now, I don't have room. So, now that I can kind of, whoops, use a free hand here. And of course, then I have to keep turning it. Okay, so that's one of the kids. And the dad is obviously, because that was the mom, right? Or one of the dads. Another potential dad would be, because she had two kids, right? Another potential dad would be the Monsters Oracle, right? So obviously she had a kid with this deck, right? Okay. Then she went on and had a kid, this being her kid, the Vlad Dracula Tarot. Sorry you guys gotta look at that, but I can't open boxes and hold card decks. The Vlad Dracula Tarot. Okay. So this is her other kid, which she had with the V Tarot. Just going to take out a couple so I can kind of show you guys. Yes, now my desk, I've got all of this stacked up. Yep, I got my desk in a mess because I can't bend over and do two things at once here. I love this deck. This is like my favorite, one of my favorite darker decks. So, there you go, guys. There's my messy rendition of the Tarot Paternity hashtag. Peace, love, and light, guys. See you later.